What's up and welcome back. Today we're talking about the only reason to be playing Red Dead Online. I'm Bandit Barney, bringing you everything you need to know about Red Dead 2 and Red Dead Online. And real quick shout out, one of the only reasons to play is that you can get 10 free gold bars if you go over to the Rockstar Social Club and enable two-factor authentication, two-step verification. So you've probably done this with other programs before. With the Rockstar one, it's a little bit odd because you need to go over to Social Club and you actually need to download an app. They have a list of them on their website. They're like authentication apps. One of them is called Authy. You download that app and you start your two-step verification through there, get that set up, and then you'll get 10 gold bars in game. That's actually a decent amount. 10 gold bars could maybe get you some gold parts on a new weapon or something like that. So some free gold bars, that is one of maybe the only reason that you'll be playing Red Dead Online today, tomorrow, this week. Outside of that, I want to dive into this trend of Rockstar adding more and more PvP activities into Red Dead Online, and how that's, you know, maybe not what the community wants and maybe not what's going to attract the majority of players to either come back or start playing their game once again. And I think it goes to say Rockstar is phenomenal at creating PvE experiences. The story in Red Dead 2 was absolutely amazing. I see that in a lot of the videos because recently they've been kind of pessimistic and I want to put in some optimism in there. So they're so good at that, but that takes more time. And in their last update and prior to that update, they announced a lot of the things that we're going to be getting. And majority of those things are PvP activities. So what they've announced, and I'll actually pull up here, is a bunch of showdown modes. They have Up and Smoke, Spoils of War, and Plunder. Now these were all announced as, you know, they were going to come in an update we got a couple weeks ago or a week ago. And when that update dropped, they said, hey, actually, these are things that are going to be coming soon, and they're going to release on a weekly basis. And there were some other things that went along with that, like the fishing challenges, target races. On PS4, they said that there's going to be exclusive access to, let's see what it's actually called. In the coming weeks, PlayStation 4 players will get the Special Series that launches them directly into the latest early access mode, starting with open target races, where you compete in an open space to take out the most targets on horseback. So a lot of the things they announced, though, are PvP. Out of all the things they announced, the one thing that I know for sure as being a PvE activity is fishing challenges, right? Outside of that, everything is this PvP oriented. And it's kind of been roadmapped out for us. Initially, we thought we were getting this one big update with everything, but now it's been kind of roadmapped out. So we know that these things are going to be coming in future weeks. So we know what we can kind of expect now, which is something that we haven't been able to do in the past. Good, awesome, cool. We can expect these things coming. Is that really a good thing though? Because we're expecting all these PvP activities, but I don't know if that's the best thing for the game right now. And this has been a trend that Rockstar's had since the start of Red Dead Online. With their first big update came Gun Rush, something that, I mean, to be absolutely brash about it, no one wanted. It wasn't something that people were like, oh, you know what, this needs a half battle royale, half Red Dead style game mode. No one wanted it. And then we keep seeing them adding more PvP. And I want to start, or not start, but I want to say that I'm not against PvP activities. I'm totally not against it at all. But the game starts. The base of Red Dead Online is Red Dead 2, and that is this phenomenal, immensely, it just grabs you and it puts you, it immerses you into this amazing Wild West world. Rockstar does a great job at creating PvE content. They do a great job at creating stories that you just get immersed in. The sounds in the game just like envelop you, and you become a part of your character. You are Arthur Morgan when you're playing through the story. And it goes into online, and a lot of that is lost. I think that is part of the reason why people are so frustrated with how the online is because we have this amazing world that we are a part of prior to the online experience, and we go to the online experience and we don't have that anymore. We don't have that story being told, you know, we don't have that PvE experience where when we're looking at the online from the story, wow, I can actually play this story with my friends now. I can't wait. And you get to the online, you find out, that's not actually how it is. And now we're at this point, a few months in, where we've roadmapped out now a bunch more PvP activities because the Up and Smoke, Spoils of War and Plunder aren't in the game yet, and we can expect Rockstar to add one of those a week. The fishing challenges aren't in the game either. That's the PvE thing, but we have target races. So you know, we're really riding the line between PvP and PvE, and I think that the large portion of the base of players is looking for that immersion, that story that Rockstar does so well, but they haven't done it all for the online experience. And then I wonder, why is that? And when I thought about why is that, one of the first things that came up was, well, it's easier. It's easier to create parameters that players play within and let that go. The stories that Rockstar builds are amazingly detailed, but that also means that they take a load of time to make. The amount of detail that goes into, like, you're riding on your horse, and depending on how close you are to someone, they're either going to be talking to you or yelling at you because they're a distance away. The amount of detail that goes into which way the story can go and how things can play out, it's all orchestrated and constructed on the back end, and it takes a lot of time. So if you have the online and it's lacking, you can just add in many more PvP things than you would be able to do, like story-based PvE things. You're gonna be able to, as far as quantity goes, get more quantity if we're focusing on the PvP rather than getting quantity focusing on PvE. But the player base here is looking for the PvE style. I think this is why we saw such an outrage when Rockstar came in and nerfed the hunting. When they nerfed the hunting, that was an activity that many, if not most players in Red Dead Online enjoyed, and it was probably the main source of the main thing they spent time doing when they played Red Dead Online. I know for me, it was. I mainly went hunting. To nerf that, you see this massive outrage, of people that aren't happy that you're nerfing this. Like, not only is it the one way we make money, but it's also one of the things we focus our time on in game doing, and you come out and nerf this under our nose. And then you add PvP, and there's a complete lack of focus on the other side of content, on the side of content that's grabbed everyone's attention and made this game win something like 170 Game of the Year awards. Crazy. I don't know how you get 170 Game of the Year awards. I don't know if I set up a lemonade stand outside and call it a GameStop, if I can give them an award, maybe it counts. But they got like something like 170 Game of the Year awards, and everything that made Red Dead 2 Game of the Year is lacking in the online. It doesn't take an experienced person to notice that, because I'm telling you about it, and I have no experience in developing games. But you can look at what was so good about the story and and why isn't the online good? Well, it's missing that. It's missing that story. But one thing I was really excited about was I thought that this recent update was going to add more to the online story, and give us more missions and it sort of add on to that storyline that hasn't been finished yet. We haven't gotten that. And the roadmap that Rockstar has given us is pointing out all these other things that are all PvP based that I don't want to speak for you. So I'll say, for me, I'm less excited about than something like a story or a robbery or a heist or things like that, where I'm working with other players instead of against them. Is it because it's easier? Is it because it's easier to get the PvP content out? On their end, is there a bunch of data that shows that actually this is what players want? Let me know down below. I may be in the total wrong headspace and perspective thinking that players want PvE. I may be in the totally wrong perspective there. For me, I think this game is more suited to the storytelling. The detail in the world and the immersion is so amazing, and they have the bones there. the skeleton, to tell these phenomenal stories, because all the effort's been put in already to make the world full of animals and sounds and horses, and it's so beautiful. But that skeleton's not being used. Instead, they're trying to go in this completely new direction that all these years of work haven't been put into. And so we get modes like Gun Rush that, you know, no one jumps on to their PlayStation or Xbox and is like, you know what, I'm gonna go play some Gun Rush. I'm gonna go jump in some Gun Rush. No. And what people did do though, I guarantee you're watching this video, so you probably played Red Dead 2. I guarantee you what you have done though is while you're at work or while you're doing something else, you've thought about, hey, I can't wait till I'm done because I'm gonna go play some Red Dead. I'm gonna go play some Red Dead 2 and it's gonna be so much fun. I guarantee you felt that, and that's the story that all the voice actors worked at putting together. All the devs spent countless hours and overtime getting it to us. All the effort that went into that, I'd like to see that more utilized on the online side. That's my 2 cents. Let me know how you feel down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much. We just recently hit 8,000 subscribers. The channel is doing better than it ever has, and that's due to your guys' support and the comments and subscribers that you've enabled us to continually have this conversation around Red Dead Online and the state of it and where it's going. I love making these videos. I love bringing them to you, and it's I love that it works. So thank you for that, and until next time, we'll catch you later.